I have actually seen someone
whose
clothes was so tight, member.
No, but
that the buttons open in the parliament.
I don't know if you can allow me to participate in the committee, but I find that you consistently answer the questions I'm trying to understand.
Madam Speaker. Madam. This is a particular issue that is close to my heart. Previously in the lower house, I had indicated some concerns in the upper house. I had indicated some concerns for which I won't rehash today because we are not discussing whether or not we will have casino gambling. But instead, we are far along that trajectory. We have already granted license, and so the debate has to shift to governance and what should governance include. So we're not having the question of whether or not we should have casinos, but indeed, how do we ensure that the high risk is mitigated and that the great benefits are maximized? In any area of government, Madam Speaker, one must ensure that there's regulatory equilibrium. In this case, it must be that it is not only strong technically, but that it represents a people-centered and a Jamaica-centered approach. Indeed, let us not misunderstand casino gaming to be the same as gaming lounges. There's a much higher risk to casino gaming than gaming lounges. And to that extent, there must be adequate attention paid, and not just an extension of oversight from that which existed before. What we are seeking to do now cannot be an extension only of what applied to gaming lounges, but that there must be a greater logic around casinos. To be fair, Madam Speaker, there are some strengths in this bill, one of which is the internal control systems and structures, segregation of duties, though there might be a need for rewording of some of those spaces where it's stated to prevent more so than to mitigate. It would be impossible for regulations to prevent fraud, for example, but the regulations are important to mitigate against it, and some of those words need to be reviewed. Segregation of duties is important. Surveillance standards have been strong. Record keeping in these regulations seem to be strong. Equipment certification controls to ensure that there is no bamboozling and bandooling of persons seeking to gamble. Integrity foundation is present. However, Madam Speaker, that alone is not full governance. System protection is indeed not people protection. Let's look at some of the core gaps that I found in that consideration. First of all, it's system protective, it's investor assuring, it's technically structured, but again, as I repeat, it's not people-centered, it's not people protecting, and it's not Jamaica-centered. While it protects the system, it exposes patrons, workers, and local suppliers without much mandate within these regulations. Let us be clear that these mandates neither existed in the license that we granted, and therefore this may be our last bat at the wicket to ensure that there is some protection in these cases. One of the gaps, of course, is that the patron's protection is lacking. If you look at Part 3 Regulations 8 to 12, it mentions problem gambling, but just a mention. It actually does not operationalize the protection of problem gambling. Now, we must note that one of the main differences between gaming lounges and casinos is no limit. A person can bet his full stock at any given time. In the initial conversations, I was against the participations of Jamaicans. However, we are where we are. And so therefore, how do we protect Jamaicans? And there are countries such as the Bahamas that limit resident participation in casino gaming. But we had made decisions counter to that, and so we are where we are. No national exclusion registry is in place. No third-party reporting channel. No mandatory intervention standards. So, for example, a person who is having a gambling problem, there's in the regulation that he can self-report. But having self-reported, there is no national registry. So it's almost as if it is curtailed to that casino. And that him can go to Caymanas tomorrow and then continue his gambling negatives. Indeed, it is within short order we expect to have more than one casinos. And so therefore a registry becomes even more important. I believe the bill indicated that we can have up to 3 casinos, but there are other forms of gambling. And then if this person is having the negatives of problem gambling, the extension of that must be protected moving forward. No, there's no, Madam Speaker.